Hello everyone, this is part 2 of our series of GlobalProtect for Pan-W version 9.1. What we're doing here is we've just configured the GlobalProtect clientless VPN that was in part 1 of our video series, and part 2 is we're going to create a full series VPN, recapping where we left off at. We're going to leverage the Windows 10 desktop on the untrusted interface or the untrusted zone of the Palo Alto firewall. One, to establish a VPN connection to the untrusted interface. Additionally, do some what we would call U-turn or hairpinning VPN connectivity from the workstation to the Palo Alto platform and back out into the internet. Additionally, we're going to show you how we're able to access an internal resource, which in this case is a web server hosted on 45.80. All right, let's get started. We're going to log into our firewall here. Now in our agenda, because most of this stuff we've actually already completed with the client list, we're gonna jump right into it and jump into our network tab, interfaces, zones, and then configure the gateway itself. So we're gonna come over here to the network tab. We're gonna go to interfaces, create a second tunnel here. We're just gonna name it .2. It's going into the default routing, and we'll actually create a new zone. We'll enable the user identification. Your IPv4, IPv6, and advanced we'll leave at their default settings. We'll say OK. As you can see, the zone was already created for us. Additionally, we're going to go into the DNS proxy and we're going to add that VPN tunnel to our DNS proxy. So now we'll drop right into our portal. And within our portal configuration here for the agent, this is where we'll actually configure the settings that your GlobalProtect agent will leverage. So for here, let's go ahead and add our GP cert. If it's not there, go ahead and install it. We'll add our profile. We're not using any client certificates. We're going to allow the user credentials to be saved on the GP client itself. We're not going to leverage any of these, so we're going to leave the configuration selection criteria at its default settings. Internal, we'll leave that at its default settings, which is nothing, and we'll configure an external gateway. Here we're going to use the IP address. We're going to set the region right now to any, but you can go in here and be very selective about which users can connect to which gateway based on region. On the app, one of the only things we're going to change here is on demand, or you can set up pre-log on or user log on always. So there's a couple of different connection methods, but we're going to go with on demand here. and we're gonna have our refresh intervals. I usually like to keep them low, and what this does, it makes the GP client come back to the portal to check on its configurations to make sure nothing has changed. So we'll set this to kind of low, like 8 hours. And that's it. We're gonna go with the rest as default settings, and we're gonna allow collect HIP data. Okay, so that gives us our gateway configuration on the portal. So now we're gonna go ahead and go configure the gateway itself. So we got the interface, the zones, and now we're actually at this step right here where we're getting the configuration configured for the gateways. We're connecting on the external interface. We're going to leverage our GP TLS profile. Here, remember we set up that authentication sequence. Now we'll go into the agent configuration. We want tunnel mode. We're going to select tunnel 2. That's the tunnel. And we're going to create a max user. Here in this instance, we'll do a max users of 10. Our client configurations. We'll just name this default for now. We're going to leave everything in its default settings. As you get more proficient using GlobalProtect, you can come in and look at some of these configuration criteria where you could actually specify specific IP addresses, operating system regions, and whatnot. We're going to create an IP pool. This IP pool that we create, it has to be something different than what you're using internally on the trusted side of the network, as well as you have to be very careful not to use any IP schemas that are overlapping. So in this case, we'll just use the 10.network. Do we want to allow split tunneling? We don't want to allow any direct access, as that could be a security issue. But what we are going to have here is the default gateway. So basically, we're going to allow the default route in that tunnel. Like I said, as you get more proficient, you can come in here and adjust like domains and applications that you want to exclude from the tunnel. Network services. This one here. Actually, we'll leave that alone right there. We'll come add our network services here. We're going to add our DNS proxy. It's on the trusted side. We'll add a secondary. We'll look Cloudflare just in case. Connectivity timeout settings here. You could actually exclude some video traffic from the GP full tunnel VPN capability. What this does, this gives the customer a little bit better user experience. And all right, so we'll commit that. All right, We'll come here and we'll create a tag for our new zone, IPsec. We'll make that red. Come into our policies. We'll go into our NAT policy first. And we want to allow the IPsec to go out our untrusted interface. And we'll add it to this rule that we created previously. Like I said, I'm just showing you practical configuration for setting up GlobalProtect VPN configurations. You definitely want to get more granular with your security policies, which your security policy, to make sure you have security rules within your security policies that are granular and that are allowing traffic and denying traffic as necessary. And we'll go ahead and commit these changes. While these changes are committing, what we're going to do, we're going to come back here to our Windows 10 system. Remember, that's this Windows 10 to 55.130. And we're going to actually log into the clientless VPN and download the client itself. This is only for desktops, laptops, and devices as such. If you have a mobile device, such as a cell phone or a tablet, you could actually download those from your app store. And we'll download the agent now. We'll download it for our Windows 64. We'll go ahead and install it. Next, pretty much take the default configurations associated. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your devices? Yes. And we'll close. Close here, and we'll log out the portal. So we're completely logged out of the portal. And now we should see the GlobalProtect client icon. There it is. It popped in over here, so we'll put in the IP address of the gateway. We'll put in our user. Sign into the gateway. And what it's doing, it's actually downloading the configuration file from the portal itself. Once it downloads the configuration file from the portal, it should actually start trying to make a connection over to the gateway. And as you can see, it says connected. We'll navigate here and do the settings. We'll see what comes up here in the settings. Give it a moment. Connection, and as you can see, it assigned us the very first IP address of 10.10.10.100, and we are connected to our GP gateway. Now let's see if we can access our internal resource. what happened here? Oh, okay. Our server actually did a startup. .45.80. We'll have to go back and figure out why that is not working. As you can see, we're actually accessing Google through our VPN connection. And let's see why we can't hit this. .80. Okay, he's able to get out. Can't access it. So let's hop over to the firewall to see if we can see why we are not able. So we have a any from there. Come to our monitor logs. By the way, before I forget, if you go back to the network tab and you go into either portals, you can see who's logged into your portal at any given time and disconnect if necessary. Additionally, you can see who's logged into your gateway. As you can see, GP user 1 is logged into our gateway in any previous configurations. You could also do a force log out as well. So we'll come over here to the monitor log and see if we are able to, it says allowed. So what we will do, it looks like it might be either a policy or a NAT issue. So we'll set up a real quick NAT here for we're going to say anything coming from our VPN IP to the destination trusted. We want that to translate to the trusted IP address, which is interface 1.2, I believe. Yep, 45.20. We'll say OK. Commit. That resolves our issue. So now if we refresh, we should see the website. Perfect. So there you have it.